The Republic of Congo has been proclaimed, and our country is now in the hands of its own children. Together, my brothers and sisters, we are going to begin a new struggle, a sublime struggle which will lead our country to peace, prosperity, and greatness. Together, we are going to establish social justice and make sure everyone has just remuneration for his labor. We are going to show the world what the black man can do when he works in freedom, and we are going to make up the Congo the center of the sun's radiance for all of Africa. These were the words of Patrice Lumumba on the day that his country won its independence from Belgium, its colonial master for more than 70 years. These words invoke a feeling of pride, determination, and most of all, hope. This was a man who had a passion for his country. This was a man devoted to his people. He saw the departure of the Belgians from the Congo as a perfect opportunity for the people of the Congo to show the rest of the world that they could build a strong country. What drove this man? What values did he hold dear? What was his life like? What inspired such a deep sense of love and dedication to his country? What circumstances surround his death? Why did he die so young and so soon? These are some of the questions that comes to mind when we read the story of Lumumba. This documentary looks at the short life of Patrice Lumumba and his great achievements. It looks at his ideas, his dreams for the Congo, his love and determination to see a united country, and his legacy after his death. It follows his passion for Africa and his ideas that continues to drive and inspire African youth and leaders alike.
Indépendance, cha-cha, tozumiye. Oki kwanza, cha-cha, tubakidi. Au table ronde, cha-cha, baganye. Oni panda, cha-cha, tozumiye. Indépendance, cha-cha, tozumiye. Oki kwanza, cha-cha, tubakidi. Au table ronde, cha-cha, baganye. Oni panda.
Patrice Emery Lumumba was born in the village of Onolua in the Kasai province of the Belgian Congo on July 2, 1925. He was a member of the Patetela tribe, which is one of the smallest tribes in the Congo. Despite the fact that he only got a primary school education at a Protestant mission school, Lumumba strove to ensure that he improved his education, and he did not let his lack of an education hold him back. Patrice Lumumba was a leader. He saw the injustice facing his people and decided to take a stand. At a young age, Lumumba understood his role as a writer. He exercised his talent by writing to local papers. Surprisingly though, rather than write like other African writers who concentrated on tribal issues boasting about their tribe's supremacy, Lumumba concentrated on writing on issues that underline various problems of racial, social, and economic discrimination.
La masse qui nous attend demain, cette masse demande autre chose que le bien de vote aujourd'hui. C'est le pain, c'est le progrès. Il faut que nous puissions construire cette nation.
This writing and advocacy for his people marked Lumumba's transition through activist movement into a national movement for liberation. The idea of independence for colonial Africa was gaining momentum. Britain granted independence to Ghana in 1957. Belgium, however, showed no sign of considering independence for its fabulously rich African colony. And therefore, in 1958, Lumumba set up the Mouvement National Congolais, better known as the MNC, to campaign for Congo's independence. It was non-tribal, pan-African, a striking concept in a colony comprising of people of many different backgrounds. His international political debut no doubt came in 1958 when at only 33, Lumumba was permitted to attend the Pan-African Conference in Ghana. In Accra, he interacted with other African leaders who were advocating for the end of colonialism. These included one of his mentors, Ghanaian leader Kwame Nkrumah.
This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now.
This experience indeed was an important milestone in his life.
L'objectif que nous poursuivons, c'est la libération du Congo du régime colonialiste. C'est l'émancipation totale du pays. Nous sommes certains que nous saurons très bien marcher, parce que cette indépendance du Congo ne signifie pas chasser les Belges du Congo ou nous séparer de la Belgique. Mais au contraire, nous voulons constituer un gouvernement souverain où chacun aura sa place, où les Congolais et les Belges pourront travailler main dans la main au service de la nation congolaise.
Lumumba's path to becoming prime minister was not without challenges. The Congo is a large country with close to 200 major tribes. Building a political party that will be supported throughout the country was a huge task even for Lumumba's MNC party. The MNC however managed to rally support by forming functional organizations which accepted the variety of interested groups and cut across tribal lines. The party also made use of alliances with minor parties. The formal endorsement of this structure, which will ensure the representation of most sectional and national interest, was a major breakthrough for the party. The MNC called for strikes and demonstrations against the Belgian authorities in the Congo. Lumumba called for immediate independence and he was arrested. Prolonged strikes forced the Belgium to release him. Faced with such unrest, the Belgian government announced in 1959 that the independence election would be held in May 1960. With such a short timetable, there was a rush to set up parties to contest the elections. Over 100 parties were established, most regionals. Only the MNC had a major policy of a central government for all of the Congo, maintaining its geographical integrity. With popular support in 4 of the country's 6 provinces, the MNC won the elections, winning a staggering 90% of the votes. The MNC formed the first government of the Congo on June 23, 1960. And at the young age of 35, Patrice Lumumba became the first prime minister of the independent Congo, and Joseph Kasavubu its first president.
Volonté de présenter devant le Parlement du Congo les premiers gouvernements congolais constitués comme suit. Premier ministre et ministre de la Défense nationale, c'est votre serviteur Lumumba.
Lumumba's differences with the Belgians were starting to show, as he was, even in his capacity as prime minister, unceremoniously left out of official programs during the Independence Day ceremonies. Amongst the many dignitaries present was the King of Belgium, King Baudouin, who delivered a speech which most Congolese people took offense. This led Patrice Lumumba to deliver his now famous fiery Independence Day speech, where he talked about the hardship, brutality, and neglect suffered by the Congolese under the colonial rule. His speech was passionate and bitter, and it greatly embarrassed the Belgian contingent's presence, and also sealed his fate with the Western world.
Combattants de l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, nous avons connu les ironies, les insultes, les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions des nègres. Nous avons connu que la loi n'était jamais la même, selon qu'il s'agissait d'un blanc ou d'un noir. Qui oubliera les fusillades, les cachons furent brutalement jetés, ceux qui ne voulaient plus se soumettre au régime d'injustice, d'oppression et d'exploitation.
But the problems Lumumba faced in Parliament and in the cabinet was small compared to the mutiny that broke out amongst the soldiers of the Congolese army only a few days after the independence was proclaimed. In quick succession, this was followed by a complete breakdown of the public security, the rapid departure of most white citizens of the Congo. And only 10 days after the independence, Belgian troops returned in Congolese soil. Serious attempts of secession by some of the most wealthiest regions of the Congo, massive interference in the Congo's internal affairs by foreign powers, and finally the arrival of United Nations police force. Perhaps his dream was his undoing. Not many people shared his ideas of a unified Congo. His fellow leaders in the government were more intent on establishing the individual tribes and clans. Some wanted to re-establish some of the larger tribes as empires with political backing, while others simply wanted to establish themselves as tribal chiefs. This clash of ideas led to a collapse of the government, with Lumumba and Kasavubu, his president at the time, colliding.
Est-ce que vous seriez prêt, malgré tout cela, dans le cadre d'une solution, à collaborer avec M. Lumumba? Oui.
Il n'en est pas question. Lumumba ne peut pas prétendre avoir le monopole de diriger ce pays. Il ne peut pas prétendre être le plus capable et le plus apte pour diriger ce pays, et je crois que c'est plutôt le contraire qui est vrai.
Oui.
C'est un type qui, je m'excuse, n'est-ce pas, de l'expression, mais je suis bien obligé de l'employer. Il ment comme il respire, n'est-ce pas? Il ne recule devant aucun mensonge. Il n'est pas chef du gouvernement, il est revoqué, il reste revoqué.
Lumumba est destitué et il ne réussira pas. Il y a beaucoup d'influences qui essayent de le remettre encore en selle, mais ils vont échouer lamentablement. Parce que nous, on n'est pas de la race à nous laisser faire. En tout cas, si jamais ils veulent replacer Lumumba dans son pouvoir, nous, les Balumba, on lui dressera une barrière telle qu'il sera obligé de massacrer jusqu'au dernier. Et je crois qu'alors le monde entier finira par se mouvoir et qu'on ne nous laissera pas mourir sans prendre notre défense.
Les complots étaient déjà faits. Les plans étaient déjà établis. C'est d'imposer un gouvernement contre la volonté du peuple. La Belgique désire balkaniser ce pays. L'éclatement du Congo, c'est demain.
The Katanga province, Congo's mining region and the basket of Congo's wealth, launched a separatist campaign against Lumumba's Congo. And under the leadership of Maurice Chombe, and backed by the Western mining interests in the region, Katanga was proclaimed as independent. As the crisis escalated, Lumumba's forces were greatly pressurized by the better trained, better equipped Belgian forces that were backing the separatist Katangan soldiers. In a bid to resolve the situation, Lumumba called upon the UN peacekeeping force to restore peace. But in the summer of 1960, the UN did little to counteract the secession of Katanga and other regions. When his appeals to the West and to the UN for effective help to end the secession went unheard, Lumumba tried to obtain help from other African states and from the Soviet Union. But this in turn gained him little more than distrust in the West.
The United States deplores the unilateral action of the Soviet Union in supplying aircraft and other equipment for military purposes to the Congo, thereby aggravating an already serious situation which finds Africans killing other Africans.
These stresses soon created a rift between Lumumba and President Kasavubu, and the result is that he was dismissed as Prime Minister in September, a little over 2 months after he had obtained that
L'armée
position.
prend le pouvoir au Congo expert. Allô, allô, chers compatriotes, ici c'est le colonel Mobutu Joseph, chef d'état-major de l'armée nationale congolaise, qui vous parle de Léopoldville. L'armée nationale congolaise a décidé de neutraliser le chef de l'État jusqu'à la date du 31 décembre 1960. Comme chacun pourra dès demain s'en rendre compte, il ne s'agit pas d'un coup d'État militaire, mais plutôt d'une simple révolution pacifique. L'armée va aider le pays à résoudre tous ces différents problèmes qui deviennent de plus en plus aigus. Vive le Congo, vive l'armée nationale congolaise.
Quel jeu joue monsieur le colonel Mobutu? Ça a été votre homme de confiance quand même, Mobutu, non?
Oui, ça a été un homme de confiance. Mobutu, il était mon secrétaire attaché au bureau de Bruxelles. Au moment de la formation du gouvernement, je l'ai fait venir ici. Je lui ai confié un poste important dans le gouvernement, secrétaire d'État à la présidence. Personnellement, je ne comprends pas son acte. Il a sa conscience. Il est venu l'autre jour me demander la réconciliation. Il a fait des démarches pour qu'il y ait une réconciliation entre M. Kasavubu et moi-même. Je lui avais répondu que je n'avais pas d'autre sentiment que ceux de la réconciliation. Et il est parti. Et de temps à autre, il m'envoie une note. J'attends. Je ne comprends pas son jeu. Il se jugera lui-même. Pour l'observateur extérieur, il dit que je suis un perdant, mais au contraire, toute la campagne faite contre moi est interprétée par le peuple congolais comme une campagne contre le renversement du gouvernement, une campagne contre l'indépendance que nous venons de conquérir.
For a while, he contested this decision, but the political situation both inside the Congo and internationally turned more and more against him. In the end, his personal safety was increasingly threatened in Leopoldville, and he therefore tried to escape to the northeastern of the country, where his strongest support has always been located. In a sequence of events full of drama and misery, he was caught and imprisoned by the Congolese army and later turned over to his worst enemies. Reports of his arrest and torture circulated like wildfires across Congo. His supporters tried to rally for his release, but in vain. Several conspiracy theories and investigations shroud the event that followed. On January 17, 1961, the army handed Lumumba over to the Katanga regime, and he was executed the very same day, along with the fellow politician Maurice Mpolo and Joseph Okito, with the backing of the Belgian forces. The assassination proved to be a national and international scandal. What can we conclude of this? Did Lumumba dream an impossible dream? Is it possible that the Democratic Republic of Congo may one day unite and strive to achieve a goal that transcends tribal boundaries? Can the country's leaders work together to quell the civil strife? And what of its mineral wealth? It has been said that the vast treasures that sits under the Congo are its curse. Must this be so? Can this wealth be tapped to better the lives of the Congolese people? Can they mine for diamond and silver and gold in peace? Can the government oversee the development of a great Congo? The Congo that Lumumba dreamed about? Or will the wars and civil strifes always remain part of our daily lives? In his 30s, Patrice Lumumba had a vivid picture of his country. He knew what he wanted for the Congo, what kind of country he wanted to live in. He wanted wealth for his people, social justice, proper standard of living, equality, and the end of colonization. He fought for the liberation of the Congo, and he lived to see this actualized. Patrice Lumumba was a man proud of Africa. He was proud to be African. Despite the injustice he had experienced in his young life, he envisioned glorious times for Africa. He looked forward to a time when the colonial yoke would be shattered and all of Africa would be free. In his letter to his wife before his death, Patrice Lumumba wrote the following words: "No brutality, mistreatment, or torture has ever forced me to ask for grace. I prefer to die with my head high, my faith steadfast, and my confidence profound in the destiny of my country." This simple stated word resonates not with arrogant pride, but a form of simple dignity that only a love for a cause higher than oneself can bring. Patrice Lumumba was a man who loved his country. His passion for the Congo is in his speeches, his desperate attempt to keep the war-torn countries together, and most of all, in his proud dignity in defense of his motherland. Patrice Lumumba lived and died for the love of the Congo.
Êtes-vous communiste, Monsieur Lumumba?
Je dois toujours rire quand on me pose cette question. Je ne suis pas du tout communiste. Vous savez qu'on m'a souvent présenté comme communiste, anti-blanc, anti-belge, l'homme qui veut détruire. Absolument pas. Je suis simplement un nationaliste, un leader nationaliste qui lutte pour un idéal. Je ne suis pas du tout communiste et je ne le deviendrai jamais.
Congo people. Patrice Lumumba was a true Congo man. Patrice Lumumba was a visionary and a revolutionary. His willing was to see our country independent, not only on paper, but indeed. But some people, as you know, wanted to control I and I country, so them kill Lumumba. Will one day reveal the truth, and Africa will teach our children the true story a different story.